Welcome to another episode of Lifelong Learner. This is the Out of Class edition with Ben, Janesh, and Matt. Hope you enjoy.
Welcome back, everyone, for the first episode of the year of 2022.
We're in person. This is nice.
Yeah, we are.
It is good. It looks. You guys look pro.
Thank you.
I haven't got my headphones. on.
Yeah.
I mean, you're Mr. Radio Show host. Mate, you're looking not very studio-esque.
Where's your golden mic? Did they take that off you? I thought you...
Oh, look at
Oh, here we go.
Are they
Not plugged in, but I've got this one of those things, right?
Yes.
Oh, the adapter.
And that little connection there,
bit dicky.
little bit dicky.
I knew you were
And
gonna
so
say
during the radio show, sometimes I'm talking to the guests and it just disconnects a little bit. Fuck, I can't hear myself. Are we still on? Am I still recording?
Yeah.
So there's sometimes these little awkward moments of, and I'm going to Bruce, who's the producer. Bruce.
He's like, mate, it's your dicky connection.
Yeah, dodgy connection.
Do
So
you
I'm
bring
just gonna
that
plug it in.
connection or does the studio provide you with that connection? Whose problem is it?
Mate, it's BYO headphones.
Is it behind? One day he might make it to turn up and there's headphones waiting.
Mate, I can't find the hole.
Mate, just persist. Just tap it around until you find
Your
it.
method. You just keep persisting.
Keep persisting. It's,
Throw enough darts at a
in the vicinity.
dartboard. You hit a bullseye eventually, right?
Well, for those that aren't listening, Ben's gone off screen to go find his hole
for his headphones.
Matt, how's the start of the year been for you?
Mate, hit the ground running. You know when you if you visualize a duck and they seem calm on the surface and their feet are doing this, that's not me. I'm an upside down duck.
So you calm under the surface?
This
They're
has
drowning.
been zero calm.
Better be drowning.
Not drowning. Ducks can swim underwater. Yeah, it's been very busy. Busy. I actually found a little bit of calm yesterday. I sat down before going to the next thing and I was just breathing and then I thought to myself, you need to do this more. Just stop and breathe and find the calmness in the storm. So for the rest of this week, that's the goal. How about you?
As you take a big sip of a caffeinated drink.
The third coffee.
It's been good. It's actually we all started the year together, right?
We did. We finished the year.
And we started the year, which is pretty cool.
Again, not planned. I didn't even know that was happening.
It all came together. Ben and I didn't know we owned camper trailers for 3 days, 4 days before.
That's what I'm getting at. I've been building this van over about 4 months, and next thing I know, we're going to go away for a couple of days, and we're thinking, what are we going to do for New Year? Oh, sure, it'll work itself out. And then I get a phone call. Everyone's bought camper vans, and we're going camping. It was perfect.
Yeah, it was good. It escalated very
really
quickly. Yeah,
It's really good.
but it's been good. It has been busy. But it's been a good busy, meaning where a couple of days have been long, but then a couple of days where I'm off. Which has been good. A couple of days last week we're at the beach. Some spontaneous stuff as well. So actually we were in your neck of the woods, Ben, on Saturday, last minute decision. We're supposed to have some friends come over. They tested positive last minute. And I'm like, all right, great. In case, let's still do something. Ringing around the state to try and find a place to go away last minute. We were pretty hard. But we ended up in Dramana, actually.
It's
right opposite the beach.
It's easier if you have a camper van, though, isn't it?
It is. Just go.
How did you go finding that campground? How did that work out?
Mate, that was hard work. We went through. We looked at areas that we want to go first, and then we found it, and it was pricey for what it was because it was peak. But mate, it was opposite the beach, so we could just from the caravan park carry the paddleboard across the road to the beach access, walk to the shops, walk to dinner. The kids rode their bikes to the shops. Which is we'll definitely go back to that place. Small.
So that was a caravan ground. That
Yeah.
wasn't that wasn't the foreshore.
Nah, it
You
wasn't the
weren't on
foreshore. Nah, it was on the other side. So it did have like a playground pool, like a little kind of cricket pitch type of thing, which is nice with the kids. So it wasn't the foreshore, and it was powered too. So, and we had our ensuite, like a little toilet kind of for the few sites there.
Do you find that the camper van, the camping, is great for the kids? The kids can go off and do their own thing. You get a bit of space and time, or are you busy managing?
Nah, well, when we're at a site, it is nice because they're on their bikes, and you go, look, they can't go off the site. So it's like you can ride your bikes around on the roads on the site, and then you're good, right? And it was a pretty small caravan park, so we felt pretty comfortable to go just go explore. So both of them, so that was nice. Ben, what about you, mate? How's the start of the year been?
Team, isn't that's
been
the focus for your year? Team.
Oh. It's how does it feel? You know how you were doing that duck description?
Yeah.
I remember being on an electric skateboard with our friend Ryan and skating, and we're out, I was learning, right? And we're zooming around Mornington. Anyway, we got on the Esplanade, skating early in the morning, no cars around. We're skating along the Esplanade, and it starts to go downhill.
I already know.
And the skateboard starts to gather momentum. And then Ryan's behind me and he yells out, "Car back." Fuck, there's a car coming. So I start to panic. Skateboard gets the wobbles. And I thought, oh my God, I'm about to come off. So what I'll do is I'll step off and run.
And this is why.
Now, by this time, the skateboard's doing 35 kilometres an hour. And I don't know whether, in fact, I'm pretty sure I've never run at 35 kilometres an hour.
Not when your life depends
My
on
top
it.
speed on an amazing day on a treadmill for less than 15 seconds would be 15 k's an hour, mate. So the foot hits the ground, and you just think the next foot's going to come forward and land, and the next foot and the next foot. Mate, the next foot just didn't make it in time. Anyway, that's how these years felt like it started. Like I'm just one foot after the next.
Just trying to stay on your feet.
Correct. Yeah,
Mate,
haven't crashed, but it's been full on because I've shifted the new office. Let me turn the camera around. Show how.
I relate so much.
Look, this is my new office.
Oh, nice.
Not to the new office.
Boardroom.
Oh, no. I love the colours.
TV for the team training.
It's on the TV.
What was on there? Just back to the TV for a second. I'm wondering why it's
That was a bit of a house remix. And they always play, the video is always women in bikinis. So it's rant. And there's a few blokes in board shorts here. But so just getting this all set up, getting the team set up. We've expanded the practice down here. It's all happening. Radio shows just launched. We had our first show last week.
This is your style, though, isn't it, Benny? You're the type of person who has a calendar, and you love to fill it, don't you?
Fill it up, mate. Back to back.
Fill it up.
Squeeze as much in as I possibly can. Absolutely.
What and with the Cairo, I remember when I was starting to get to know you, and I heard about how you were doing some of these really fast sessions, so you could maximise your reach. That kind of sums you up, doesn't it? You're all about maximising time.
Compressing for quality is the word I use. How can you?
I love it.
How can you achieve more in less time, less energy, less money? Achieve more better. So it's not cut corners, which is where you save time or money and get a less quality result.
Yeah.
But if you're doing something, you got to ask yourself, how could I do that better for less? Less time, less money, less energy. Super powerful. Like you actually end up with a way better result for less time and money and energy.
And I imagine it motivates the shit out of you because you're searching for little increments of improvement and utilising time. So that must be motivating.
Yeah. Like the radio show I've got. It's a 3-hour show. We've got 6 guests on that. Like we pack it. We have 6 guests come on, and we're shifting between guests to guests. And so it's guest, and then it's sponsor break, and then it's a piece of music, then it's a little chat from me, then it's another piece of music, and then the next guest, and it's.
He loves it. You can just see you lighting up.
There are buttons and dials getting flicked and twisted, and levers getting pushed everywhere. Bit like your desk. It's not far off the desk you guys have got set up there?
Don't. I given Matt's sitting next to the button, standing next to the buttons, and he's
I won't.
he's about to press
won't.
the applaud buttons, and I'll go wah 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 wah.
No, I wasn't going to wow him. I was going to celebrate with him.
Do you even remember which button's which? Okay, cool. Okay, there you go.
This is a professional show. This is definitely a professional show.
is.
We really are, though, just kids playing, aren't we? I mean, we're playing podcast. We're playing health and well-being expert. It's
play.
It's fun. And if it isn't fun,
Why you do it?
why do you do it?
A big shout out to their number one fan, my son Logan Cavosso.
Where is he? We want to see him. What's he doing?
We might get him. We need to call him in as like a call-in guest, right? We can call people in on the show, right? Give him a call and maybe even ask him to quote a job for us.
I was going to say,
a bit of a prank call.
the only way that you're going to get him is if he can come and garden.
Great idea. Prank call for a quote.
How far will he go? Will he come to Warrandyte? Because I'm subletting my house. I need a gardener to take care of some
Could you
stuff.
imagine you go, I've got a 50-acre job, mate, like just 4 days a week, mate.
And money's not an issue.
Money's not an issue, mate. Just name your price. I just need to get it done.
I got a lot of cash lying around the house. I got to get rid of it. So if you could just come and cut my lawn and cut the stacks of cash in half, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
Right, that would be gold. The only problem is that he will be listening to this because he said to me yesterday, he said, Dad, when's the next podcast? He said, there hasn't been a podcast since the new year. I said, mate, it's funny you ask because it's on tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's in my calendar.
At least it's in someone's calendar.
One of us.
So anyway, he loves the show. He loves the show. And so do the other two people that listen.
Yeah. Well, there's three because it's surprising who does. Ash's partner.
Yeah, we were the interview gala event last year. Someone came up and started talking, and we're just having a random conversation. We're talking about the end of the year, and it's one of the episodes we're talking about doubling down this time of year. And they just came back from a long stint of work, and I'm like, mate, you're taking it easy now? He goes, nah, just still going through and just want to just finish the year strong. He goes, oh, like what you guys talked on in the podcast. And I'm like, what? He goes, I've been listening. And it's funny because his partner works for us here, and he's like, you just don't understand. And she's like, I do. I work with these two guys. I understand. And he's like, no, you don't. You need to listen. Like, he's trying to preach to the already converted. He's like, no, you don't understand. You need to listen to this episode. You need to listen to this episode.
All I heard was, we've got a follower. Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Mate, there's a great saying by BJ Palmer, who was the developer of chiropractic, and he said, you never know how what you do and say today will affect the lives of millions tomorrow. And sometimes I don't think we do realise how the little snippet, the little thing that we might say or do may affect someone who's listening, and how that may go on to affect many more tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So it's powerful. I was listening to, not listening to, I started to read Robert Sharma's new book.
Which one's that?
Something or other manifesto.
Okay.
So Robert Sharma, 5 a.m. Club, The Monk Who Stole My Ferrari.
Yep.
He starts his book by saying, if this was the last book I'd ever write, if this was it, this is that book. He said, if I never write another book, I put everything that I have into this book. But he talks about how as a kid he was not really in the system. He wasn't a match for the system, and he had low self-confidence, and because he just wasn't getting great grades, etc. And he said there was this lady teacher, this Jewish lady teacher, who tapped him on the shoulder one day and said, you're awesome. You're gonna be all right. You're going to do great things. I believe in you. And he said that moment changed my life. It changed my life. And she was a Holocaust survivor. So she was one of the Holocaust survivors who then went back and helped rescue Jews, took them across borders to escape Nazi Germany. And he said it was just that little old lady who said, hey, you're going to be okay. And now he's sells trillions of books
Yeah.
and
is impacting the lives of others himself.
does the same, doesn't he? He's have an impact with people.
So have you finished that book? Sorry to catch you off there, mate. Have you finished Is it a good book?
It is a good book. It is a good book. No, I haven't finished it. I'm only 5 or 6 chapters in.
Yeah.
And they're all little snippet chapters. They're 2 or 3 pages long. So they're just like a little golden nugget
Yeah.
of all the work that he's ever done.
He's Mind
I imagine
Valley,
it-
isn't he?
He's pretty good.
Is he Mind Valley? He's the CEO of Mind Valley.
Oh, is he?
I think so. Rob Sharman.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
He's a big deal. We love his The Saint, the Surfer, and the CEO. Have you read that one?
The Surfer and the CEO.
That's the Saint, the Surfer, and the CEO. CEO. Mate,
Is that a Sharma book?
Yeah, great book. It's the one after. I rate it higher than the
Monk Who Stole His
Yeah,
Ferrari.
better than that. Really, really good book, actually. I think when I read it, I recommend it to you, and then like 4 other people. Maddie got it, and a few of you others got it. It's an easy read too, as well. So
It's just quietly. It's got the 3 main characters: a saint, and then
That's me.
Yep, you're the saint. CEO.
What?
Surfer. Oh my god. Maybe that's why we
spooky.
like it.
Hey, I've got the wings on the back, guys. I'm the Saint.
You have.
I'm the Saint.
Saint. And he's we know
CEO,
he's CEO.
right?
And I'm obviously the surfer.
That's it.
It is worth a read though. You get this beautiful insight into how each individual person excels at life and their
you need it,
philosophy,
yeah.
their mantras, and they all interlock.
And you need a mix of all 3.
You need a mix of all 3. Really, really good read. And
No, I've never heard of that book. I'll go and dig it out.
We'll
not-
put it in
not
the
as-
show notes.
yeah, it's not as popular as his others, but
Yeah.
it's good.
Oh, that's a good one. What I was going to say was, we talked about when you said about playing. We talked the other day with a training that we did. Was like we're playing, and when you're playing, like we talked about kids playing, right? Kids play doctor, kids play police officer, and they play and they're having fun and they end up doing it, and we're like,
Doctors and nurses.
well, I'm not sure we're talking about a different play here, mate. So, mate, that's the play that's going on Ben's screen in the background there. But we're talking like when you play as adults, or when you play, you're actually learning at the same time, right? And we don't do it enough as adults. And it's like, well, hold on, but we are, as you said, we're playing podcasters. Right? We're
it's all
playing
pretend, isn't it?
different professionals, and it's how good you play. It's not that you're fake. You're playing a game. Like, so you're an athlete in that realm, and it's fascinating because people go, "Oh no, it's not play."
This is work. This is serious. And I think sometimes if you can remember that it's play, that it's not as serious as you make it out to be, then you become better at it because there's less pressure and there's more enthusiasm, there's more creativity. It's imaginary. It's not rigid and so, anything rigid breaks. So if you're rigid with your spirit, with the way that you conduct yourself, it's going to break. But if you're dynamic and flexible and playful and don't take yourself too seriously, it seems to go better.
What's your thoughts, Benny, on everyday
Well, mate,
play?
it's easy to get serious, isn't it? The world's a serious place. It's so easy to get serious. I was chatting with Rhino today, as you guys know and the listeners may know, every Wednesday. We've been doing it, I think, we don't really know, but we think it's probably close to 10 years every Wednesday morning. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah, no, it's guessing. I've been following you guys.
6 till 7:30. And I said to him, 2022, when I did my reflection last year, it's the year of happiness.
Yeah, nice.
Year of happiness for me. So I just find sometimes I get a bit serious. I look back, I look back at some of the Loom videos I send clients, just give them some feedback. And they're full of passion, they're full of energy, they're full of enthusiasm, but they're serious enthusiasm. There's not enough smiling, there's not enough laughter and giggles. And so I want to do more of that. I want to bring more of that at home when I'm home. Often the kids, they'll come and there's a challenge, there's an issue they need resolved, and so there's this serious conversation. There's just not enough play. not enough happiness. So for me, 2022 is the year of happiness. And I think that's reflected in, and as you said, Matty, beautiful. The more you kind of pursue that, the more you're childlike, the more you're willing to play and the more flexible you are. We invited the kids to the camping trip you and we're all catching up with next week, right? And so I said to Bella and Eden and Logan, I said, why don't you guys come? Oh, no, I can't. I've got study to do, says Bella. Eden says, oh, no, I'm working on Tuesday. I said, Eden, just get Charlie to fill in for you and come Tuesday. She goes, oh, I don't know whether I can be bothered, like lack already. Right? These guys are 20 and they're lacking flexibility. Logan, I said, mate, come. Oh, I've got workers working and
we're going to book him in. We're going to get him to mow and prep our camping area.
Why do you think that? I don't know if it's a generational thing or I don't know if it's a generational thing. I think it's some other just I don't know.
It's cultural, definitely.
But it's people just go. They don't. It's things are in the too hard basket, or it's things are in the too hard basket, right? So like I know Monday. Last minute, we had to drop Syra, our eldest daughter, to my parents' place for the week. And then last minute, we realised, you know what, we'll pick something up for camp along the way. And then we picked it up, went out for dinner, and then it would be easy to go, all right, 7 o'clock, see ya, I'm going to drive back. It was about 40 minutes, an hour drive. And I'm like, oh, let's go see a movie. Let's go see a movie. A little bit I know, Marvel DC movies, right, they go long. They go a long time. So, movie finished 11:30. I'm like, oh. The next day we've got a 7 o'clock meeting, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'll sleep here. Don't mind that. That's just the coffee machine in the back. And let's turn it off. But then back on deck for a 7 o'clock meeting the next day. But was it worth it? Yeah. Was it easy? No, because a little bit tired. But going to the movies, popcorn. Some choc tops, and the next morning be able to come to it.
And memories.
Yeah, and memories.
You're creating memories with your daughter. It's spontaneous. I think, just to use this as a metaphor, I'm training people at the moment at the summit in all the activities. And it's serious business because you need to be safe. You need to make sure that you can do these things and you don't hurt someone or kill someone or put this organisation at risk. So you've got to pay attention. You've got to be, taking notes constantly. That's what I'm seeing from these people. And I'm trying to remind them, guys, you want this because it's a fun job. So don't forget that. And we're talking about having fun and talking about being playful. And then we get to the slide and it's the drop slide and we're all learning how to do it safely. And then Maddie says, oh, so who wants to be a participant down the drop slide? It's 30 degrees yesterday and really sunny and the lake's glistening, begging to be slid into, and not a single person wants to go down the drop slide. And I'm like, what? And then we've got one guy who's 45 years old and he goes, I'll go. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, does anyone want to go with me? Nothing. They're 18 to 23 years old. They're in board shorts already. No one wants to go down the drop slide. I'm like, I'll go down the drop slide with you. So you got the two old timers hanging off the drop slide and we're like giggling, having all the fun while they're keeping us safe into the drop slide. We did it like 8-9 times. I'm like, guys.
Why do you think it is?
Because it's serious business.
Is it serious or is it too hard? Like even the example Ben when you said the kids come and camping, right? It's a public holiday. It's like it's not like it's 3 hours away. It's like an hour and 20 from you guys, right? Like it's not super far. So why do you think it is?
I think it's easy to and it's easy not to. Like either one is possible. I don't know, mate. It's a really good question. I wonder whether there's too much noise. I wonder whether their brains are full. They don't have. There is no boredom now. When we were a kid, you got bored, and you literally could say to your parents, "I'm bored," and you really were, because there was nothing happening.
And you had to come up
with something. But these days, just always, you can always keep filling. You never have an empty cup. It's always always getting topped with something. Not necessarily fulfilling, but it's always getting topped up.
There's stimulus everywhere.
Constant stimulus.
And instant.
And so
I don't have to wait for that video game. I just, there it is.
So I wonder whether that's it. They're already full all the time, and so therefore they're not seeking a way to fill.
And possibly instant connection, because we're going camping to play, to connect, and there's some physical activities which are exciting. But if you can connect via the internet instantly, maybe you don't want to drive an hour and a half. If you don't know what you're missing, I don't know. But it's curious.
But, it was interesting. I was talking to Dr. Cal the other day, and we were talking about something about corona, COVID, and something came up about the PCR testing and or check-ins, and he said, I wonder how it would go 10 years ago. Imagine if we had this pandemic 10 years ago.
No one would have checked.
A lot of people haven't got, smartphones. The internet's not like it was. There's no fibre, But it's imagine how, we'd have to have printed, papers.
Everything.
Like back in Nazi Germany where you had to show your papers.
Yeah, it would be like showing
They'd literally have to show your papers.
Yeah. And so many people just wouldn't fill them in. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
It'd be crazy.
No, we get a PCR test. You'd have to wait for the fax to come through to the doctor.
Or the
and go into the
pigeon.
doctor to get your doctor's appointment.
Yeah, we're finding it hard for like 5 days, 6 days. PCR testing, right? Imagine that 2 months. That's coming by carrier pigeon.
Yeah, go back to the swine flu or whatever it was, the Spanish flu. How did they? How did they do
So
that?
this instant, the state we've got now, just 10 years ago didn't exist. Like I don't think whether you guys can. You guys would be on the edge of it, but for me, I can remember no internet, no connection.
We can remember.
I can remember no mobile phone.
We were
no mobile.
I think for us, which is unique.
We had internet, but it was dial-up. And then
Dial-up.
you had to go. We had to bloody go get the telephone line out of the phone and go plug it into the modem. And then if someone called, you would get disconnected. You wouldn't even be able to do this call to get like maybe one web page. It'll take like 10 minutes to go.
I remember as a young man watching some videos and sitting there patiently for 45 minutes for a 1 minute video to load. Like, that's insane. No one has that level of patience today. You wouldn't wait
No.
10 seconds. If it doesn't load in 10 seconds, no.
You're calling the provider. Oh,
Yeah. And it was so pixelated. You were like, is this worth watching?
Is that a booby?
Is that it?
Not sure.
Is it? Oh, just steal Dad's magazine. It's easier.
Yeah, so it's super interesting how quickly it is now evolving and how much noise there is now.
Yeah.
So I wonder whether that's it. They're just maybe partly exhausted and they don't have the boredom to go, oh, yeah, what else? Oh, yeah, what else could we do?
And that's a little bit sad because from boredom comes creativity. Some of the greatest games that my brother and I used to play, we were fortunate enough to live on a property, we had 12 acres. And so the things we used to come up with just out of boredom, the glove gun wars that we used to come up with. We used to build forts and have 40-gallon drums and you'd pull a string and they'd roll down the hill and the younger brother had to try and capture the flag while my older brother's shooting me with glove guns. And this was all just stuff we made out of the stuff at home. We'd invite friends around and you'd have, tennis balls covered in paint. You'd be playing paintball and just stupid things because you didn't have other things.
So how do we fix it?
We got to take.
How do we make a difference now? How do we change the direction?
I think shedding light in the, in the value of minimal noise or no noise. So like when we go away next week, why do we go away? Yes, for connection, but also there's no noise, right? Like the phones aren't going off as much, or if the phones are going off, we're only selectively answering. We're choosing to selectively answer. When we went away on the weekend to Dramana, there was no noise. It was like there was no TV. I was able to, after the kids in bed, I was like, I could read a book, pour myself a drink, and it was just sit. It wasn't I'm going to watch a show. I wasn't like I'm going to research something on my phone. It was like there was no noise. I don't know. I think the shedding the light in, just the value of it, I think is probably one step,
and possibly sharing the joy that comes from it. Like I'm prioritizing that this year. This is the year of what I want, and what I want is to disconnect so I can reconnect. Nature, play, and really physically connect with my environment and the people I'm with, as opposed to technology. The last 2 years has all been technology, connect via technology, which we're blessed to have on one hand, but if that's the only way we're connecting, and it seems like the world is starting to accept that, don't go to work physically when you can work remotely. We know now that works. That actually is a little bit worrying, because I know for me personally, physical connection, the internet version is not the same. They're not the same. It's like artificial connection versus real connection. And I think that maybe we need to be ambassadors for that.
Yeah.
Take the time.
And trying it on. Like, you don't need to go a full-blown camping trip. Like, I think just if you want to dabble, then just dabble, like experiment. Like, go to a caravan park and rent a cabin, right? Rent a cabin, right? And there's less noise. There's a little bit more community there. I think there's, after the 18 months, 24 months that we've had, I think there's this home, there's all this stimulus, and it's all noisy and you're confined. I think it's like, it's like declutter. Right, that book of decluttering, like how do you de-noise a little bit? And I think, especially those that have families and kids, I think it's like, hey, look, we're going here, and it might be just something small. It might be like, yep, we're not doing an overnight, but it could be that's you, mate. It could very professional.
This duck's getting ready to start pedaling.
But I think recommending just dabbling and just try it on. Just try it on, and then expose the younger generation or your next generation to it. I think is key, because it's otherwise it's probably going to get lost. I think, I think it will get lost anyway. But I think it's this next generation can probably have more people just go, it is actually fun just to get on my bike and ride my bike and explore. I don't need to watch a show. I don't need to be on my phone. I don't need to be on Instagram.
It's interesting, because on one hand, I believe that we're going that way. But when I was in Warrandyte the other day, and we were in, maybe it was a couple of weeks ago, I saw a lot of kids on bikes, which I hadn't seen previously. So I think as well, they're so used to the now having to do remote learning. Some of these kids are getting home and going, I don't want to do any more of that. And they are searching for another option. And it's a little bit like maybe they're fatigued with that, so they're going back to some of the old school, what mum and dad would do. But I wonder, I'd love to know the stats on that. But yeah, in Warrandyte, I was super excited. I'm driving and I see these kids and I'm like, I know what you're up to. I can connect with you. I can tell from the body language, the way there's this little rat pack of 7 kids on bikes. There's that one kid, no helmet, and they're monoing down the road. I'm like, yes, I feel close to you. I'm connected to you. I think we need to see more of that. And maybe we need more of us encouraging it. Wind down the window. Woo! Yeah, rock on. Because that's what I want to see more of. I want to connect with people who are out there having fun, not sitting at home behind their screen. Unless they have to.
Yeah. What do you think, Ben? What in the current?
Well, I don't know. I love that you saw that, Matty, but I just think there's the youth they're just not doing that. But who is doing it is our generation. Yeah. If we're put in lockdown, we're buying more bikes. Bike sales are probably still good, but they're not buying it for the kids anymore. They're going,
we are.
Stuff the kids. They don't want bikes. I'm going to buy one for myself. Yeah. We've got way more people on stand-up paddles, people riding bikes,
old people riding skateboards.
Yeah, a lot of people are taking it up.
I wonder whether it's our generation that are trying to keep that
alive,
that connection, keep that outdoorsiness alive. And I don't think it's I don't think it's midlife crisis. I think it's just we're trying to keep in the last couple of years, trying to get reconnected with staying connected
with some of
the youth.
that nostalgic stuff that we used to do. And so maybe that's our role, is to
keep it alive.
put a hand out and say, come join us with some of this old school fun.
I remember end of last year, Ben, when we were both looking at camper trailers and we were looking at new ones. They're like a 6 month to 8 month wait. And I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, what do you mean this is 6 month wait? All right, like it's but it is that generation that's going, you know what, we are going to disconnect. And I think it's probably as you did with your own kids, invite them along. And I think it's we're going to get a lot of no's, I think, but continue to invite, continue to say, come along.
I wonder whether we as well maybe need to get behind the computer and play a few video games to connect in their world, and then we can ask them to connect in ours. Will, from here, was talking about on the weekend he's going to go home and after staff training, he's going to go and connect with his mates and they're going to play some games. And I thought to myself, that sounds like fun. Maybe I'd like to do that. I couldn't do it for hours and hours and hours on end, but I could do it for a couple of hours. So maybe it's a bit of both.
I get a bit too giddy. I get a bit dizzy. There's too many things moving too quick.
Too many things to shoot.
And the controls, there's too many buttons. I just need a left and a right and a shoot.
There's no hope for you being a drone pilot in the future, is there? No.
There's so many up, down. He's like, I see a fly button. I need an auto fly button. Just press that and go.
Give me the thing that I can wear and I am the video game. That would be easier.
I played that a bit on the weekend. I put the VR headset on at my brother's and it's too complicated. There's jump, there's crouch, there's walk, there's run, there's...
Just like you're human, mate. It's fine. There's no controllers. You just do it.
It's different.
It's not good. It's not good. That's why I do play it, and I play lightsaber. No, Beat Saber.
Beat Saber, yeah.
So you just stand there and you're just doing this.
Mate, I've seen you guys do that. I've tried. It's not fair. Why do these games insist on green and red? Think about the colourblind people in the world. Come on. These developers need to get better at this. Black and yellow. That would make sense. Why do we make fighter pilots have to pick between the red button and the green button? Let's change that so that it's colours that anyone can see. I hate that
screwed
game.
on the radio show. The button that says that the thing is on, like there's a CD player, there's a MP3 player, there's the guest, there's the person that's phoned in, and you just push the button and there's a red and green light, right? Except
just green.
It goes red when they're on.
It's
I said, Bruce, that's back to front, mate. It's like green is go, green is on, red is off. He goes, no, it's kind of like red, warning, that's connected.
You're right. It's funny because
red on air.
So I told Matt, I go, mate, press the green button that's going to turn red. He goes, what do you mean? I go, no. And
they're all green, Dinesh.
So the record button is green, and as soon as you click it, it's red. But then on the other side, there's all these different colours, but they're all shades of green and red. And he's like, mate, they're all the same colour.
Look, I wouldn't know. I don't know how to applaud you or boo you. Look, I'm going to try. I'll press the green button. Ooh. It's just, it's ridiculous. Speaking about green buttons.
That is a beautiful purple windsheeter you've got on too, Matty.
Thank you. I prefer salmon.
You guys in your giddiness and your colourblind, and I think it's getting your age. It's age.
No, colourblindness is not tied to age. I was colourblind when I was born. Well, lads, love you.
On that note, I do need to go.
Yes, we do need to wrap up.
Some of us run to a schedule.
Well, I got a busy day. You got a busy day.
I don't have a schedule. I do have a schedule. I don't have a calendar. Because my schedule is the calendar. It just, I know what I'm doing for the next 3 weeks. So I would say,
just to wrap up, I would recommend people to explore, especially while it's warm, right? In Australia, at least, it's warm now, and explore a little of less noise.
And the physical world, physical connection.
It's easier to go for a walk now, right? Like it only gets dark at 9 o'clock. It's amazing. Do some of that. And if you already do that, invite people. I think it's your role to invite people, and they're going to get no's. You're going to get no's. You're going to get plenty of no's, but I think it's our role to continue to invite them, right, and bring them into the fold.
And every no gets you one step closer to the yes. And maybe, like you said at the beginning, with that woman just saying they believe in someone and that having a profound effect, creating one of the greatest, I guess, gurus with Rob Charm. And maybe asking enough and you get a yes, that could be a game changer. Maybe people will start connecting in a way that's more fulfilling.
Very wise, boys. Very wise. Have an amazing day, guys. It was great to catch up.
Yeah.
Look forward to doing the show next week when we catch up again. Let's do it live.
In person.
Can we please set it up and I wakeboard in and grab my mic?
I'm not sure we're going to have power there, mate. So we'll have...
I was about to say,
power.
we need 240 volts.
No, we just combine. We connect all of our camper vans together.
Mate, this is a 240 plug.
Mate, we can work it out. It's fine.
Minor detail.
But we could just use our phones.
We could, yeah.
And just, yeah.
We just told people to get rid of them. We don't need them anymore.
Yeah, true.
We're camping.
We'll work that out next week.
All right. You're machines. Have an amazing day, guys.
You too.
Love your work.
See you guys.
See you soon.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Lifelong Learner. If you like this episode and want to know more and hear other episodes, head over to lifelonglearnerpodcast.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter, where you'll be the first to know when new podcast episodes come out. And if you want to say hello, tell us a joke, or ask us a question, send us an email at hello@lifelonglearnerpodcast.com. Thanks again.